Welcome to an episode of Founder in the Chair. Today I have a lady who's an ex-pharmacist. She gave it all up. You may wonder why, but we're going to hear about that today. So she shifted paths to become a holistic health consultant, and she opened a plant-based kitchen. Driven by a deep-seated belief that true healing comes from within and not from a pill, she is dedicated to helping you tap into your innate ability to heal and thrive. Join me as we delve into her story about moving away from the medical world to explore the road less travelled, especially for South Asians. My guest today is Indy from Dunward Lifestyle.
Hello.
Hello, Indy.
Hi.
A health consultant now.
Yep.
A holistic health consultant.
Holistic health consultant, yeah.
What is a holistic health consultant?
So a holistic health consultant looks at your health from a holistic point of view. So that's your emotional, your physical, spiritual, mental well-being. So it's every single thing we look at. We don't just look at your food. We don't just look at the stress you're under. It's your emotional stress that you're also under. And, you know, a lot of people don't think about it, but even the spiritual side of you. So, you know, what's that saying? And what are you doing every day that, you know, brings all these four pieces together?
Okay, and how do you do that? I mean, I understand you can look at food we eat.
Mm-hmm.
How do you look at the spiritual side and the emotional side?
So it's very much tapping into how you're feeling, because, you know, if an emotion comes up, you're feeling something, you know, that's going to have an effect on your mental health. That's also going to have an effect on your spiritual health, because what I teach people is that any food that we eat or anything you're thinking, anything you're hearing, it's all going to affect your spiritual health, because, you know, you've got your channels. So I'm not like big on this, but I know that, you know, you have your chakras, and if you're eating food like processed foods, sugars, foods that don't, you know, do anything for your body, foods that are nutrient deficient, then what you're doing is you're ending up blocking those channels, and that actually affects your pineal gland as well. So when that's blocked, that's, you know, that's your door to your spiritual health as well. And things like toxins, so even heavy metals have been found in the pineal gland, that's going to affect your spiritual health. So it's all linked.
So interesting. Okay, so you transitioned from being a pharmacist to a holistic health consultant. I mean, firstly, you know, people will be like, but you earn so much money, you've studied for so long. What was it like to transition?
Initially, I think I took it a bit, I didn't take it fully, like wholeheartedly, because I think, like you said, I studied for 5 years to become a pharmacist, and there was a lot to unlearn. Like, I had to unlearn pharmacy in order for me to learn about real, true health. So initially it was more about my own journey, and that's been like 14 years in the process. So doing that, that's been like the biggest part of my journey. And then obviously now with working with clients, it's one of those things you never stop learning. So I'm always learning. I'm always teaching myself something new. I think it's just happened. Like for me, I don't know, but in all of it, underneath all of it, yes, I learned so much from pharmacy. I did, as in science. I love science. I'm a bit of a nerd like that. I like research. I like to read about evidence-backed processes, all of that. But for me, it was very much unlearning what the medical system had taught us, which is that, you know, you have a diagnosis, you get a pill, and it cures you, because frankly, it doesn't. I mean, Pfizer, if you think about Pfizer, pharmaceutical company, they've been around for, you know, over 175 years. They've made billions of pounds, yet they've not cured one disease. So, you know, that makes you think that. And that was one of the biggest things for me, was that people are having all these pills, they're having all these symptoms, then they're having more pills, but they're not getting better. And if anything, they're getting a lot worse. And
The more pills are for the side effects then.
yeah. So the drugs don't work. It's true. It's just the way it is. And yes, crisis management, I always say, don't come to me if you're having a stroke or heart attack. Go to the hospital. That's fine. For crisis management, it's amazing. But, it's just convenient that, we're getting sick. As a society, we're getting sicker and sicker. And more and more pills are coming out, and we're getting sicker and sicker. So it just doesn't add up if you think about it. And that was the biggest part of my journey as well, actually unlearning all of that.
So the pills don't make you better. So
No.
what makes you better?
Food is medicine. So I just want to say about the pills, yes, short term, they'll suppress, what they do is they suppress your symptoms. And for me, that wasn't in full alignment with how I felt. I went into pharmacy to help people, to make them feel better. And when I was handing out packets of pills that actually gave them symptoms and didn't cure anything they had, that didn't sit right with me. No disrespect to anybody that's still in that line of work. For me, that was my learning and that was my journey. But yeah, for me, it's food. Food is medicine. My new pharmacy is my kitchen, and it has been for the last 14 years. You open your fridge, and if you think you can go in that fridge and you can get, you can pick out berries that are going to give you antioxidants, which fight off oxidative stress, help fight off disease. If you think you can pick out, oranges, apples, fruits, fibre, all of that, which is amazing for your gut health and heals your gut, your second brain. That's my pharmacy. So food is medicine. That's my biggest takeaway from this whole journey.
So this way people listening right now and thinking, oh my God, what does she think she is, telling us pills are not the answer? Well, you're not saying that completely. However, you're saying move away and start looking after yourself through food. But some people totally rely on pills. I get a headache, I'm going to reach for a paracetamol and think, oh my God, Indy's going to tell me off. But when I'm desperate, I will, because that headache just will not shift and it makes it better. So how can you say it doesn't make you better?
It makes you better as in, you haven't looked at what the headache was caused by. So you could be dehydrated. It could be that you just need some magnesium. It could be another nutrient deficiency. It could be that you're stressed. It could be you've had too much screen time. And this is the thing, we've been taught now to just take a pill and forget about anything else. We've lost the control of our own health. We're not taught that maybe look at why the symptom is occurring. And that's the biggest part of holistic health, is go back to root cause. So why am I getting this headache? Have I drank enough water today? Have I been out in the sun today? Have I, not got enough fresh air? Am I not grounded enough? Have I had too much screen time? And this is all a big part of it, is that, big food, like food companies, they pay scientists to, make our food addictive. And coincidentally, that's the food that's going to make us ill. These are the people that are linked with big pharma, and big pharma, like big pharmaceutical companies, they're going to give you a pill because it's going to make you better, but actually it's going to suppress your symptoms. And the only ones benefiting is them, because they're profiting, right? So why not teach us, why doesn't the NHS teach us, right, let's go away, let's look at why you're getting these symptoms in the first place. But it doesn't. It's going to say, here's a pill because we're going to benefit from this. We're going to earn from this. And it's the same with, the medical system all over. And my aim is to just bring the medical system down one time and make people see and take back control of their health, because I'm actually sick and tired of seeing it. Like, it's we're being reactive to our health conditions. We're not being proactive. We're not looking at why certain things are going to cause us illness. We're just happy to take a pill. But why? Like, why do you want to be taking things that are putting, tension and stress on your liver, on your detox pathways, that are causing even greater illness, that are going to actually affect not just you, but perhaps the generations after you as well? Because all these pharmaceuticals end up in our waterways, they end up in our food, and actually it's not just yourself you're damaging the whole of the ecosystem, the whole of, Mother Nature. Everything gets damaged in the process. So if you look at it in the bigger picture, there's nobody's winning.
Definitely not us.
Definitely not us, and definitely not Mother Nature. So who's winning? It's the pharmaceutical companies.
So when we work with you, you teach us. I mean, quite honestly, if you said to me, okay, don't have the paracetamol, go and drink some more water.
Yeah.
Maybe you need some magnesium. I wouldn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, the water, I probably know I didn't drink enough water that day and I've probably had too much screen time. But I'm not going to go and think, I'll have some magnesium. So working with you, that's what we're going to learn?
Yes. Yeah. So it's going back to the root cause. So the way I teach people is that it's education, right? Knowledge is power. When you take back control, when you know your body, your own body, when you tune back in, that's the only way you're going to know why you're feeling a certain symptom. And yes, it's one of those things where you may have gone to a point where you've got leaky gut, you've got leaky brain, whatever it is, your lymphatics are stagnant. And that's why, people like myself can come in, we can help you like debunk it all and just, break it all down. Don't want to say debunk, break it all down and help you see what it is that going back to the original cause, what it could be that's causing you any symptom, any diagnosis. Because, things like people get pain in their right shoulder, that could be linked to your gallbladder. And people don't know that. And that's because your meridians. So there's all these things that you may not necessarily know. And I don't expect everybody to know because I don't know everything either. I'm always learning as well. But there's so many things that you can, and we do teach people to help them take forward into their everyday life and teach their kids, because I think that's the next generation have got a lot to do with changing the way the world is going to be.
So you mentioned meridians. So for anyone listening, what is that? If they don't know what it is.
That's in Chinese medicine. You've got your meridians that are linked. It's like channels in your body that link your gallbladder, your liver. Everything is linked, right? It's a whole system. Nothing is separate in your body. So that's more complicated, as in China. I haven't studied Chinese medicine. I just know that that's the way we look at it when we look at it holistically, is all your systems are linked. So, a stagnation in your lymphatics may end up causing another symptom like, brain fog. So it doesn't mean that just because you've got brain fog, there's something just in your head. It's all linked.
It's like they say your emotions are linked to parts of your body, like anger, and it's your liver.
Yeah. Your lungs, grief. Yeah, that's all Chinese medicine as well.
Wow. Okay. So you also have a plant-based kitchen. What motivated you to open a plant-based kitchen, and how did you bring that vision to life?
So again, it was that realization that food is medicine, and it was, I wasn't like a massive takeaway fan or anything, but I felt like there was a missing piece in, I live in West London, and I felt like there was no places where you could get organic, plant-based whole foods. A lot of the problem with people that go on vegan diets is they end up having mock meats and foods that are processed, where I wanted to bring something that they could have that was, completely safe for them to eat, as in not going to cause inflammation in their body. So that was it, really. I actually loved food as well. And I think everybody in lockdown started to bake. Everybody started to make food. So that was a big part of it. After lockdown, I felt like, okay, I'm making all these things. I had a book where I was writing recipes down. I was creating recipes, and I thought, why not bring this to people? Because this is what people need, because they're people that are busy with their lives, and they don't have the time to necessarily source ingredients that are ethical, source ingredients that are organic, whereas I know I could do all that and put it together for them.
So you started in lockdown. Okay. So you did it from home. So for anyone listening thinking of becoming a founder and starting a food business at home, what's the process? What did you have to do, like licensing or cleanliness, whatever you have to do? What did you have to do?
So it was just that. It was just you do your food handling safety certificate. You get that.
Where do you do that?
You do that. You can do that online. There's
Okay.
loads of places online that do that, and then you would get in touch with your local council to register as a food business, and they will come over and do a health and safety check.
Okay.
And that's it, really. It was very simple. I think it took a bit of time after lockdown because they had a backlog, but actually it's very simple, and it's just keeping on top of the CPD, learning as you go along, making sure you're keeping up to date with hygiene, regulations, safety regulations, and all that.
Because that's important for somebody to know that where their food is being made.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So do you still do that?
I still do that part-time.
Okay.
Yeah. So alongside it just fits really nicely with my holistic health consulting. So a couple of my clients take food from me because they're very busy. They want to work on their health, and this is the only way for them to keep it going. So the meal plans I create for them, I will actually make for them as well, so they can take that food.
So if we work with you and someone like me who's lazy, be like, okay, Indy, you're going to tell me to eat this, this, this.
Mm-hmm.
Can you then make the food for me as well?
Yeah, so we can put that into your plan where I would, because you're local,
I
would only do it for anybody local.
Yeah.
I would, if that's something you needed from me, then we work on that as well.
Perfect. Okay. So what were your biggest hurdles that you encountered when you were starting your business, and how did you tackle them?
I think the biggest thing was putting myself out there. Social media. I don't know. I had this thing that as soon as I go on Instagram, I set up an account, I'm going to start getting a flood of, messages and people contacting me for orders. So I sat and waited for like 3 weeks. I'm like, no, nothing's come. Like nothing's happened.
So that's you've put yourself on social media and then nothing came.
Yeah, because you just feel like you start a business and all of a sudden you'll get people coming. Right? I never.
It's not that easy, is it?
Not. I didn't know the world of business. Let's say that was very naive, very, very naive. But it was putting myself out there, putting my face on camera. Now you can't shut me up.
Yes, you're there every day. I open my Instagram and she's there. I go on TikTok, she's there. How do you do that then? How did you overcome that fear? Because I'll be honest, a lot of people, when I did business mentoring, the biggest thing was they didn't want to make content. They didn't want to put their face out there. But people do buy more, didn't they, once you went on?
Yeah. I mean, my thing was getting my face on there, my voice even, just to do a voiceover and recording. And I worked with yourself. We did mentoring and you did really great videos for me, which when I put those out, it was a big thing for me.
Yeah, I remember.
Before that as well, I worked with another sales mentor, Suman. She helped me kind of overcome that fear as well. And she actually taught me as well that you have to put your face on social media. You are your brand. So I always say to people now, anybody that comes to me with a new business and asks anything, I'll say, look, work with a mentor, work with somebody like Vina, work with somebody like Simon, because you have to put yourself out there in order for people to see who you are, to buy you, because they're buying you, they're not necessarily buying your product.
It's the story.
Yeah. It's absolutely the story.
Like I had somebody who sells candles, but her story was so powerful as to why she actually makes them and sells them. And I know if I had 3 candle companies to choose from, even if hers costs a little bit more, I'm probably still going to buy hers because I know how she makes it, the love and the why behind it. Okay, so putting yourself out there was the hardest thing for you.
Hardest.
Then the orders started coming through.
Yeah.
Did you ever get to a stage where you had too many orders and you had to limit how much you could take?
Yeah. So also I was going to say networking, that really helped. Like getting yourself in front of people face to face, even online networking. Doing that really, really helped me as well massively because people got to connect with you in person. But yeah, so I did get to a point where I had too many orders. I was doing events, I was doing private orders, and I actually burnt myself out. That was like a big lesson in business for me. I was like running 2 businesses then alongside each other, my product business, my candles, etc., and then my food business, and that was just complete burnout. So that's another lesson as well. It's just either get a team, get somebody to help you, or limit what you can do.
Do you have a team?
I do now. Yes. Yeah. I'm working with somebody now. I did start with my kitchen as well. I had a lady helping me. And now I have a team that does my social media, that does my sales, does my marketing. So I don't have to worry about any of that.
Yeah.
Because that was another big point of burnout for me. It was doing everything.
Yeah.
And I would say to anybody that starts a new business, not straight away invest in all of that, but really look at your processes and look at how you're going to manage everything as well. Especially when you have a young family. I have young kids as well, so it was tough.
How old are your children?
Mine are 14 and 9.
Okay. So, Indy, you are a vegan.
I am.
And tell me what it's like to be a vegan. Because I remember once we had this conversation and people introduced you when they're out for having dinner. She's a vegan.
Yeah.
It's like,
I have a name.
Yeah. My name's Indy. It's not vegan. How do you feel about that? And do people actually understand what it is to be a vegan?
It's crazy because, like, the veganism's been around a long time, but I think in our culture, not so much. And people find it really difficult to believe that a Punjabi girl is a vegan. But yeah, I find it fine. Like, God's put all this stuff on the earth for us to eat.
Yeah.
All the food we get. And actually, science proves that a plant-based diet is like the most enriching. It's the one that's going to feed your microbiome, not just your gut. Like your teeth have microbiome. Every single organ in your body has microbiome, and foods like plants, fruits, vegetables, grains, nuts, seeds, all of it feeds that microbiome. So it's quite easy. I think people think it's really hard to be a vegan, but if you stay away from the processed crap, like the stuff that that they want vegans to eat, which is all pre-packaged mock meats and fake cheeses and all that kind of stuff, stay away from that as much as possible, because that's the stuff that's going to cause the problems. I know loads of people that say, I went vegan and then my hair started falling out, my eyes were sunken and all this kind of stuff. But then you ask them, what were you eating? And that's exactly what they were eating. They were eating the prepackaged vegan food. So yes, I'm vegan, but I'm plant-based in my food. Like, it's whole foods. But I'm ethical vegan in terms of other stuff.
Like where it's sourced from and...
Where it's sourced, my sofa, my car, like everything. I'm very particular about it being... not have anything to do with animal cruelty.
Wow. Okay. So being a Punjabi vegan, do you often get offered paneer?
Yeah. So that's the biggest thing people ask me is like, do you miss paneer? I'm like, no. And I don't have to think about it. I'm like, antibiotics, hormones, pus, blood. Why would I want to eat that? I don't miss any of that, because that's what your dairy is, right? It's full of that crap. And sorry, I know we can't swear. But
well, if that's your view, that's your
my
view.
And dairy's acidic, and the populations that eat the most dairy actually have the highest incidence of osteoporosis, because people think it gives you calcium when actually it leaches calcium away from your body. So yeah, that might be new information for some
That's scary.
Well, yeah, but that's just the truth. And yeah, we're not like, I feel like we're grown adults. We don't need to drink milk from the mammary glands of an animal. Like, actually, scientifically, when you stop breastfeeding, your body naturally would stop producing lactase, which is the enzyme that breaks down the lactose in milk. And that just proves that actually, as a human being, we don't need that milk going forward. You don't need dairy. So that's just my view.
Quite a statement.
It is, yeah.
So, Indy, can you share a success story from your entrepreneurial journey that stands out for you?
So, for me now, I guess it's the most recent is becoming a holistic health consultant, because I was always in my plant-based, when I was running my plant-based kitchen full time, I was always giving out information anyway. I was always sharing how we can reduce our toxic load, how plants can help us. So for me now, it's having just started in January and already working with 11 women.
Wow.
Yeah, so...
We're only in March.
I know.
It's just started.
I know. And that for me is a testament to, I guess, the work that I've done in the last 3 years, building my brand, building my business. And it's also, I guess, a testament to the belief that people have in me, because it's like you said, when you share your story from where you've come from, what you've done, your own experience, that's my biggest, I guess, achievement now with working with that many women. I only got certified in December, and then I immediately started to join people up, and then so I'm working with 11 women now, and then I've got a group program that has already got 16 people signed up for in March. So I'm really honoured that I get to work with these women, and I get to help change their lives.
And you only work with women?
I only work with women for now, yes.
For now. Okay, that could be changing.
Well, yes.
Perfect. So just going back to being a vegan, you became a vegan when?
That's only been 9 years now.
Okay.
8.5 years.
So before that you were a vegetarian?
I was vegetarian. I was being vegetarian all my life. Yeah. So, but my health journey started 14 years ago with food.
Okay.
But then I was still eating dairy up until 8.5 years ago.
Right.
Yeah. That was when my son couldn't digest my breast milk, because obviously I was heavy on in dairy. Because it's that Indian thing of like, have loads of milk when you're breastfeeding, but actually we just need water. And I was having a lot of dairy, and then he just couldn't. He was getting a lot of colic. He was getting sick. And actually a conversation I had with my cousin, and she said, just stop dairy for a little bit. I bet it will help, because she did the same, and it did. It massively helped. And then I went on the journey of looking into why did dairy affect him so much, and because I'm a science nerd, and and then
there's so many kids who get colic.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily just that. There could be other issues with what you're eating, but yeah, it's definitely, for me, dairy was the biggest thing. And within 2-3 days of me stopping the dairy, he was perfectly fine. He was thriving. He was drinking enough milk. I was happier. My skin cleared up. I lost a bit of weight, and it was just everything from there.
So interesting. So, what advice would you give to someone looking to leave the medical world and start their own business in the health and wellness industry? Because I know you've done it, but it's not easy to take that leap of faith.
I'd say do it. If somebody's thinking about it, do it. There's something in your heart that's saying do it. It's something you're never going to regret. I haven't regretted it. And yes, you said before, you take a massive pay cut. Like I could be earning, 100,000 or whatever it is a year, but I've taken that pay cut because for me, what's more important is it's living in purpose, living in alignment with, the fact that I'm actually helping people now. I wasn't helping people as a pharmacist. I was actually making them worse. My truth, that is. And now it's about, for anybody else, I would say, if you're not feeling aligned with it, I totally understand. And I meet so many pharmacists that say, oh my God, I'm a pharmacist, I'm training to be a nutritionist, or I'm also quitting and I don't feel aligned. And we see so much like in the pharmacy, in that environment. And there's things I've seen that I can't sort of talk about like openly, but there's things like, that they push on you, that they push on patients, that it didn't sit right with me. So
if someone is looking to leave the medical world, can they reach out to you, talk to you?
Of course. Happy to, speak to anybody. And I'm very firm, I'm very honest. And I'll be like, you know what? We're bringing the medical system down.
Little Indy here is going to be doing this.
I'm going to do this, yes. I just want to, I want to build, this is why money isn't everything, right? I want to build that tribe of people behind me to say, let's do this. Let's be more proactive with our health. Let's not be reactive. Let's not rely on a medical system that wants you to be sick. Yes, they want you to be sick. They don't want you to be better, because with you being sick, they profit. So it's not about I say bringing them down. That's a big
It's a
challenge.
big statement.
Of course, it is, but it's more about taking back control. So when you get above them, at the moment, the food system's got control over you because they're selling you foods that you're addicted to, that you can't give up. And the medical system has got control over you because you can't, you can't have a headache without having to reach for a paracetamol, because that's what we're being programmed to do. And it's time now. It's 2025. I would say take back control. Just, open your fridge and make that your pharmacy. Load up your house in a way that's more aligned to nature and more aligned to what your body actually needs to restore its own balance.
Wow. Okay. I recently read, I was listening to an audiobook, Ultra Processed Food, and I was really shocked at how, I don't know, something like Ribena was made, or Fairy Liquid and things like that. And all I was thinking was, if Indy heard this book, she would love it. There is a lot more information out there now compared to 20 years ago, 10 years ago, and there's people like you. It's not to say we're going to stop using things like washing up liquid and things like that. It's a slow process. I've thrown my microwave out because you told me how bad it was. It's hard. Like you said, you wouldn't get in an electric car because it's a big microwave. I was like, okay. Don't know how that's going to, moving forward, how we're going to get away from that. But you really do live by what you say, which is a big thing, because sometimes people say something, but then they're not actually doing it.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of those people. So you have to embody it as well.
Yeah. So if somebody wanted to work with you now, if you could look to that camera, how do we get in touch with you? How do we work with you? What will you do for us?
So if you want to work with me, I am a holistic health consultant. I'm a low-tox mum, and I am passionate about helping you remove the toxic burden from your body. So a massive part of my journey was to start clearing my channels, clearing the terrain in my body by minimizing, reducing toxins that I was bringing into my home, that I was eating, that I was consuming on my body, and bringing into my home, like I said. So any candles you're burning, any creams that you're using, any foods that you're eating. So when I talk about when I work with people on their health, it's not just food. You'll get the whole thing with me. So we will look at how you can minimize your toxins. We will look at how you can start clearing your detox pathways, how you can remove the stagnation which builds up, because we're exposed to so many environmental toxins like stress, the food we're eating, the air we're breathing, the water we're drinking. Everything is loaded with toxins, but it's quite easy when you get on that journey, and it can feel overwhelming. So I'm that person that will keep you accountable. I'll hold your hand throughout the whole process, and I just want you to thrive, because I know you can do that without any pills. I know that you can do that without eating foods that don't sustain you. So this is all about reconnecting back to your body through Mother Nature, and just restoring balance, because we're not perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm far from it. But it's that every little step that you take, every small change that you make, that's going to make the big impactful changes.
And your website, social media?
My social media is Dhanvad, that's DHANVADH _lifestyle. And my website is www.dhanvad.com. And you can DM me, you can email me. That's basically how you can reach me. I'm on TikTok too, but I actually don't know the handle.
Isn't it the same?
Probably.
Some lifestyle.
Yeah, I'm not massive on there, so most of the time I'm on.
You hang out on Instagram.
I hang out on Instagram. Yeah, Instagram's my biggest, the best place to find me, or my email address as well.
Do you get a lot of business through Instagram?
I think Instagram for me, yes, I do, and plus it's that social proof. So it's having that, making those connections. I think that's more important. But for networking is probably a bigger way of getting people into my world.
So aren't you glad you showed up on social media with the help of Suman and me pushing you?
Yeah.
Because sometimes you just need some people that you're accountable to.
Yeah.
And that's what pushes your business.
Yeah, definitely. And when you do that, it is liberating, and it is hard. And even some days now, I know you see me on social media all the time, you're saying, but sometimes even now, I'll find it hard to jump on a story and talk if I haven't done it for a few days. But, you overcome it because you know what's on the other side of it. You know, you're going to share something that's going to help somebody, even if it helps one person, or you're going to, it's a case of up-leveling your business. And if it's bringing you, people to work with you so you can make their lives better, then just do it and go for it.
Thank you. Thank you. So thank you to Indy for coming as the founder in the chair today. So look out for her episode. I'm absolutely speechless that she makes these statements. So I'm really looking forward to seeing the feedback on this. And thank you so much, Indy.
Thank you.
Looking forward to the full interview.
Thank you.